My brothers and sisters, a phone call came in the dead of night. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman himself on the line from Riyadh. Captain Traoré, he said, Burkina Faso's leadership during the Qatar crisis showed us something. Africa and Asia must stand together. When Saudi Arabia and Pakistan signed their historic defense pact last month, they never expected a West African revolutionary to change everything. The hidden power of the pact, the agreement was simple on paper. Any aggression against either country shall be considered an aggression against both. But the moment Pakistan confirmed its nuclear deterrent extended to Saudi Arabia, the entire balance of power shifted. Israeli analysts panicked. American defense contractors recalculated billions in losses. And Chinese strategists quietly rethought the future of the Middle East. For the first time since 1947, a nuclear-armed Muslim nation had committed to defend Islam's holiest sites. The Gulf expansion nobody saw coming. Within days of the signing, the dominoes began to fall. The UAE made direct calls. We want the same guarantees as Saudi Arabia. Qatar, under Israeli strikes, saw the alliance as survival. Even Bahrain, home of the US Fifth Fleet, started secret talks. Why? Because they all saw what I did. The traditional security system, America's umbrella, was crumbling. Africa's unexpected leverage. But here's the twist no one saw coming. When I condemned Israel's strikes on Qatar, 15 African nations stood with me. Ambassadors were recalled. UN votes turned overnight, and suddenly, Africa's moral authority became a global force. The Crown Prince told me himself, "Your voice shifted the entire continent. If Africa and Asia unite, the empires will listen." The secret negotiations in Ouagadougou. For 3 weeks, delegations landed under the cover of darkness. Pakistani generals, Saudi ministers, Qatari envoys, UAE intelligence, Bahraini diplomats, and one question echoed in every closed room.
Could Burkina Faso anchor a new global alliance? The vision was bigger than defense. Shared intelligence, coordinated diplomacy, unified military strategies, a sovereignty network across 3 continents. My conditions for Africa. After 2 weeks of deliberation, I said yes, but with non-negotiable conditions. Any African nation attack gets automatic support. African resources remain under African control. No member supports sanctions on African countries. Alliances' capabilities must defend African borders. They all agreed. Saudi Arabia pledged billions for African development. Pakistan extended its nuclear umbrella. The UAE offered massive investment. Qatar promised coordination centers. Bahrain added maritime intelligence. Washington in panic. The Americans noticed immediately. Their satellites tracked flights between Ouagadougou, Riyadh, Islamabad, and Doha. The CIA scrambled. The Pentagon threatened. But the truth was clear. For the first time in 75 years, a defense alliance was forming outside Western control, and it terrified them. Israel's nightmare becomes reality. When Mossad learned of our plans, Netanyahu convened emergency sessions. Why? Because this wasn't just politics. This was existential. Nuclear-armed Pakistan is defending Saudi Arabia. Saudi wealth funding African sovereignty. African diplomacy shielding Palestine for Israel. This was their worst nightmare. The official announcement, then, yesterday morning, I stood before the world, flags of 6 nations behind me, leaders from Riyadh, Islamabad, Doha, Abu Dhabi, and Manama, joined by video. And I declared any aggression against one of us will be treated as aggression against all of us. 6 leaders, 3 continents, 1 commitment. The Asian-African Defense Alliance was born. The world reacts. Beijing congratulated us. Moscow pledged support. Tehran praised Muslim unity. The African Union celebrated. And across the global south, young people flooded social media with hope. For the first time, they saw proof we can build our own power, our own alliances, our own future, a new global balance. This is bigger than one pact. It's bigger than one war. It's the birth of a new order, where Africa's voice matters, where Asia's strength matters, where the global south writes its own destiny. This is just the beginning.